afternoon. So this is my first afternoon show for about a week. And I'm not going to lie, the afternoon shows feel like they're a little more normal than the morning shows. So for those of you that are new to our broadcast, I want to thank you. It looks like my internet is wonky, which of course it is, because why not? For those of you that are new and are joining the BullFrog Creatives platform from the show last week, the NFR Hangover, I want to thank you for joining us for this show. I started this College Rodeo 101 broadcast early in the spring, shortly after the NIRA made the decision to cancel the CNFR. So I did an interview with Roger, had an opportunity to speak with profile lots of different colleges throughout the year. And then we started talking to alumni. We bounced back. We're now interviewing some more colleges. I think we're going to probably see a little bit more of that in the future now that it's kind of recruiting season again. So happy to have you guys on today. We have with us University of Montana Western rodeo coach Cody Leahy. Oh my gosh, I still probably said it wrong. You have one of those names that you can't see it spelled. You have to just fly by the seat. Once you can see it spelled out,
used to it, so.
It totally throws you. So I apologize for butchering your name. That's real unfortunate.
No, that's okay.
So let's just get started. I'm kind of in the process of trying to get you pulled up here on Facebook so I can see if we have any questions. But talk to me just a little bit about University of Montana Western, where you are located, and just talk to me about the community first off.
Yeah, so we're located in the southwest corner of Montana, just south of Butte, about 45 minutes to an hour.
You're good.
Okay, yeah. So we're just south of Butte.
Talk to me. So we've had a fairly mild weather here, fairly mild winter. I say that, and I probably just jinxed myself, which is real unfortunate. But talk to me about kind of what the weather is like where y'all are at.
It's actually, today it's finally got some snow, but it's been last week. I mean, it was 50 degrees out. December's been pretty nice actually. So I feel like it's always teasing us though. Seems like into January, February it gets pretty bad, but no, it's been really good. I know there's a lot of people around here even roping outside last week, which is pretty rare for a Montana December. So
that's kind of how I feel about our winter here. Like we had a real nice kind of Indian summer and went into the fall, and when we have a skiff of snow on the ground right now, which usually once it comes, it never leaves, or it comes and blows away and then comes back.
Yeah, we get a little bit of wind here too, so it doesn't last. It's usually we get a lot of drifts here pretty soon. So.
Yeah, I feel your pain there. So let's talk about the college specifically, and let's not get into rodeo just yet. I know every rodeo coach wants to do that first, so I got to save the best for last. Cody, talk to me about what kind of academic programs y'all have through Montana Western.
So here at Montana Western, we actually have we take the block program. We call it the block program, where kids take classes one at a time. So they take them for 18 days, one class, 3 hours a day. And then after those 18 days are up, then they move on to the next class. So that's kind of unique to our school. We're actually one of the only public university in the country right now that does that. So that's kind of unique to Western.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, so it really helps, and we're a smaller university. We're usually right around 1,400 kids here, and so our class sizes are really small, and they're just taking, like I said, one class at a time. They either have class from 8 to 11 or 12 to 3. And
wow, that's really interesting. I've never heard of that before, but I feel like it could be of benefit. So let's talk about just a little. Don't go crazy on me. When you're rodeoing, I mean, especially in this region, in the Big Sky region, oftentimes you've got to leave sometimes on a Thursday to get to your weekend rodeos. So you're missing it. Does it really impact with that kind of schedule? I mean, are the teachers or professors do they work with you guys a lot, or how does that work out with the rodeo schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does, because you only have 18 days of class, so you're going through a lot of information in those 3 hours. But the way our seasons are up here, where we and then we get going again later in the spring. That usually kind of times it out to where it's in one of the blocks, so kids can kind of plan an easier class during that block when we're rodeoing.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, the professors, yeah, we're actually a part of athletics here, and so they help us out with our classes and that kind of stuff if they do have to leave. But most time each fall and the spring, they're maybe only missing one or 2 days of that block for our rodeo season. So
I mean, as long as they're communicating with their professors, it could be a little bit easier on the
yeah,
schedule. That's great.
yep. We actually have to talk to them and all that, and then they help us out pretty good. So
That's cool. And I think it's also a benefit too when the rodeo program is a part of the athletic department. For those of you guys that are joining us that don't understand the difference, you can be a club sport on campus, or you can be a part of the athletic department. And, I've been in programs both ways. Um, I think I would say the main difference that I experience between the club sport and the athletic department is and actually you probably have to do this in both ways. Definitely in a club sport, you're kind of responsible for raising your own money. And so you're attending fundraisers, you're going out, might be asking for sponsorships, but I know that y'all have a fundraiser as well. So maybe it's expected on both sides, but that's one of the main differences I saw. Why don't you talk a little bit about your fundraiser?
yeah, so in the spring we have our annual rodeo banquet, and I hear stories they started it down here with a potluck, and I think they just had 100 some people showing up, and now we sell 750 tickets. We have a prime rib dinner, we have an auction, we have a dance. And so, that's been built up. Oli, the past coach here, she built that up. And so no, it's a huge deal for our program. Going back to that athletic and stuff. So we get a little bit from both that way. It's kind of nice to have that cushion of having the support from athletics. But then we still, we do fundraisers throughout the year to help with all the extra costs that come with it. So.
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. So do you guys still do I know when I was rodeoing in the Big Sky region, y'all would put on a smoker in the fall,
Yeah.
I think. Do you guys still do
Yeah.
that?
No, we get that question. I actually get that question a lot from people that are rodeoed in the Big Sky or knew about that, and because I believe it used to be with the CSI, College of Southern Idaho down there. They used to come up and they'd do the smokers and stuff, but no, we don't do those anymore. So.
My best friend in high school and college went to college there, and I think she fought in the smoker. So if you guys don't know what it is, it's a boxing match. So these rodeo kids box. I mean, it's crazy. I would watch, but no way. I think it was a pretty decent fundraiser for y'all, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, they did do very well with it, and it seems like everybody kind of had a lot of fun with it. But times have changed a little bit with that.
It might have been more fun than fundraising, but
yeah.
I don't know that anybody was counting, so that's funny. So let's talk a little bit more. Like, if I'm a freshman coming in, do y'all have requirements for student athletes to live on campus? If you do, let's talk about the student housing a little bit and maybe some of the meal plans. And if you don't, what are our options for living off campus there in Dillon?
Yeah, so freshmen, since we're a state university, so freshmen are required to live in the dorms their first year, unless they are from the county or they have a significant or next of kin that lives here in town. So if we get a brother and sister on the team, then siblings, then they can live with them. But no, freshmen are required to live on campus their first year. And we do have a meal plan here. Again, it's a cafeteria over here. I went to a small high school, and this is a smaller college, so I was very used to that. But obviously, we don't have a huge cafeteria over there. But no, they always have 3 meals a day over there. They usually have a buffet style for the one deal, and then they have a burger bar too. So if kids don't like what's being served that day, they can have a burger. We have a little convenience store on campus too that they can go to and everything. So. And then when they do move off campus, we do have Dillon's a very agricultural based town. Where I think our population's at 2,500 or something, and a lot of ranches and just horse people in the area. I kind of call them the college houses. It seems like they get passed down from rodeo kid to rodeo kid, over the years. So I'm sure you're familiar with that too, going,
Yes.
and stuff. So yeah, and so no, there's a lot of opportunities at those. A lot of houses have 2 or 3 pins in the backyard back there and stuff. So
Yeah, I do remember a few of those in my day. Um,
yeah.
so talk to me about, let's talk about, before we go into rodeo, let's talk about your predecessor, Oli else recently stepped down. When did she step down?
This is
Retired.
2018, so this is my 3rd
And
year. Yep. So
so Oli was the rodeo coach. I don't even know for how long. Do you know for how
25
long?
years. I think
Yeah,
it was 25 years. And
25
she was
years,
a part of it before it too. That so altogether, I think it was close to 30 years.
which is incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, we laugh and joke about generations, like you're making me feel old. Like I know, you said you went to college with Bridger Chambers, who was on our platform early in the spring, I think. Um, and that makes me feel old anyways. But to think about the numbers of generations that she was able to impact in her position there, man. So 2 questions. I imagine you've got some really big shoes to fill. Talk to me about that, and then talk to me about if like, is she on speed dial, or has she kind of just let you take it over?
Yeah, so I mean, it is big shoes to fill. I mean, when anytime somebody's been a part of that for that long and done what she did, like I talked, they started out with 100 people at a potluck, and when she left, they were feeding 700 people, and just the way she rallied the community around the rodeo program. When she started, it was a club sport too, and she got it helped in being part of athletics, and so when you take over those, that's obviously big shoes, but luckily, I did rodeo here as well. I rodeoed for Oli I actually got for 5 years here, and so I got to know the community very well, and I got to know the teachers, and so I think that helped a little bit when I stepped in, so I kind of knew what was already going around in Dillon and what this program meant to the community and what this program meant at the school and stuff, and so I do think that helped a little bit, but no, if it told you I wasn't nervous, I'd be lying to you. It's a big deal. But on the other side of it, though, I had the opportunity, or it's fortunate to have that opportunity that she built that up. I know some coaches, when they step into places, they really have to struggle to build that support back up with the community or just to get the fundraising and stuff. But so I was very fortunate to already have, the backing of that. And so I guess the most challenge is just keeping that support,
Right.
that's what was my biggest focus. So,
Well, and I think it
but yeah,
speaks to
no,
the program too. And I've had conversations off camera with people about how many student athletes then come back around and end up coaching at their alma mater. And I think it speaks to your program, not only what Oli was able to do, but the fact that you want to come back and keep building into that kind of a program. So kudos
yeah.
to you. I think it's again, big shoes to fill, but I've heard great things about you and what you're doing now. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. I
I do
appreciate
I
it.
do anticipate that you'll be carrying forth the red jacket and the cowbell, I assume.
I no, I let her. I retired that with her. I don't know if I could pull off the red jacket. That's Oli's legacy there.
It
Everybody
is.
remembers the cowbell and the red blazer. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
funny. And we used to, of course, I obviously was in direct competition with the Montana Western all the time, but there was always here comes a bulldog coming out of the crowd somewhere. So, I mean, it was always really fun. So
yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about your program specifically. If I'm coming to town, what can I expect for practice facilities and boarding horses? Like, where am I going to keep my horse, and how much is it going to cost me? Let's talk more specifically about that stuff.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate. We get to use a Lassance Arena up here. They are ones that are big with helping get the natural horsemanship program and stuff that we have here on campus. They have an indoor and an outdoor facility that's about 7-8 miles out of town here, and they let us use that. So that's kind of one of their. They help us out with a lot of other things, but that's one of their obviously huge donations that they give to us is they let us use that in the evenings and stuff. And so that's where we get to practice. It's a beautiful barn that we get to use up there. it's actually kind of even heated a little bit. So I mean, that helps when it's
Also a benefit.
yeah, also a benefit. So no, so we get to use that. The kids, we unfortunately we're not able to board horses up there at that facility. But like I was going back to earlier, Dillon's such a ranching community, and everybody, since the rodeo team's been here for so long, people know that kids are coming in with horses, and so there's always, you know, and I have really help out with the out-of-state kids, especially trying to help them find, you know, or the community members around here. But a lot of the in-state kids, they already know somebody that's going to school here, or they know somebody high school rodeoed with somebody that, you know, is from Dillon or something like that. So, so no, we never have any issues of finding kids, and it's Dillon is a very affordable place, I would say, still too. I mean, I would say the uppers you're getting in the maybe $200 a month for a horse, but that's you know, that's hay included and those kinds of things, down to like $50 a horse. And then you have to provide your own hay. So in today's times, I think that's still pretty affordable for what with everything else that's gone up. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. So let's talk about stock. You know, you have the facility. What kind of stock, and then what's the practice schedule look like? I know, you know, let's talk about practice schedule in a normal year, because I'm sure that things have changed in the last year for y'all, but the hope is that we will kind of overcome COVID and get back to some sense of normalcy, or the new normal, however you want to put it. What does that normal practice schedule look like? And then talk to us about, you know, do you have stock? Do you lease stock? Do you have stock? And then, you know, obviously we want to cover rough stock and timed event practice, including the goats for goat tires. So maybe talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah. So the timed event side, that's where we actually don't have bucking shoots up there at that barn. So that's all timed events that we go to up there. And no, I do, I do lease cattle from, and again, there's actually a couple people right around here in the community that have steers. A couple of my old buddies that rodeoed here, they live in town and they get calves. I get calves from them and stuff. And so that's where we get our stock, is usually right. I think the furthest I have to go is maybe 45 minutes from Dillon to get cattle, which makes that so that makes that really nice, because if I need more or if something goes wrong, and you know, I can switch stuff out. They're very, very willing to always help the rodeo team out that way. We practice timed events Monday through Thursday, 4 nights a week. We steer wrestle and breakaway Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we team rope and calf rope Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the goat tires, they goat tie usually all 4 nights. Mondays and Wednesdays, usually they do get-offs, because most of the girls that go tie also breakaway rope, so then they already have to bring a horse up there, so that makes sense that night. But then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're always tying on the ground up there and stuff too. And the rough stocks.
Ground tying is easy. You could do that in somebody's front yard if you had to.
Yeah, and that's a lot of them do that too. Like if they're not, don't want to come up there to team rope that night, then they all get together at their house and stuff and tie goats there. So. And then like the barrel racers, then we set aside time for them if they would like it. A lot of times, you know, they don't really need to run their horse. They just want to exercise their horse, which we have 2 arenas up there. And so they come up there and just exercise their horse. But and a lot of times, you know, if we're going to go run in Haver where they're running inside now, then they'll come up there, even if it's 80 degrees out, they're going to come up there and run in the barn just to get that type of deal.
I'm so disappointed that Haver is an indoor rodeo now.
Yeah, it wasn't for me either. They just started that, I think, 3-4 years ago, maybe now. They do a good job though. They kind of did that old barn that was up there, and they do a heck of a job with it up there now. But
that's funny. I think I've told this story before. Yeah, it gets cold. So when my second year in college at Powell, I was traveling with Tristan Vermandel.
Yep.
And by the time we got up there, I mean, I think there was 2 foot of snow at the fairgrounds, and we still had to have our rodeo outside. It was insane.
Yep. Yeah. It was the second rodeo when I was in college, and so we always got away with it pretty good when I was in college, because it was the second rodeo, so it was still early on in September. But it always snowed at our rodeo in Dillon here.
Yep. So every year. Yeah. Same with us. It was cold. Yeah. So you got to worry about different things.
Yeah. I actually moved it to the earlier rodeo this year, and it was the only rodeo all fall that got rain again. And so I think that's why the ranchers love us around here. We bring the rain every time we have a rodeo. So
you jinxed everybody.
Yeah.
That's funny. So let's see. I kind of got off topic, which is usually what happens.
Oh, and the rough stock. So I actually they get with the Red Eye Rodeo there in Deer Lodge, or yeah, Deer Lodge there. Kaleberg, I sent some kids up there. That's where he actually built a brand new barn there, I think here about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And so that's where I sent them in to get on in the winter time. And then I have a bucking machine right here on campus that they can get on and stuff in that way too. And so that's what our rough stock kids do as of right now. So
Perfect. So is there anything else you'd like to tell us about your rodeo program? Anything?
I mean, no, not specifically, I guess, but no, I mean, that's one thing that, practice is one we get to practice, I guess, too, for, we have plenty of practice. If I had 70 head of calves up there, I had 30, 40 head of steers. And, I try to set aside enough time so kids don't have to rush through practice and those kinds of things. That's kind of my biggest deal, I guess, was practice, that I really wanted to bring that to the table, or like I said, I already had a lot of the support and everything else here. I wanted to add a little bit more of my own twist to the take what is already here and add on to it. And that's kind of what I guess I've tried to and build up a little bit different than what it was. So.
Well, and I think you have something else going for you is that new block schedule.
Oh
It kind
yeah.
of allows you don't have to worry about like if somebody has a 4 o'clock class or somebody has a, night class or something like that, it makes your scheduling, it's got to make it so much easier.
Oh, 100%. I know every kid's going to be done by 3 o'clock, so we start practices at 4 o'clock. And it really helps the kids out, I think, with their day too. They know they have class from 8 to 11, and then they have the afternoon to maybe get their homework done. A lot of them actually get part-time jobs even during the season because they can still go work for 3 or 4 hours
Yeah, there's
before we
still that
practice.
time frame in the afternoon. Yeah, that's a
And
great
just take that
schedule.
stress off of having you're worried about your schedule every day. You know your schedule every day. So
Yeah, that's cool. I'll be interested. When did you guys start doing that?
I think we're on year 15 or 16 now, I think.
Oh
Maybe
my
we're actually maybe
goodness.
getting closer to 20. It was like 10 years old when I got to college here in '09. So yeah, we're getting closer to 20. We might be just past 20 years now. So it's well established now. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
I
it
think it was
seems
like
kind of,
around '03 or '04 they got it going. So
huh, that's cool. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your recruiting process. And I know that signing day is in March. So
yeah.
y'all can't sign anybody prior to that. Is that how that works?
Yep.
So,
We can't sign any letter of intents before that.
okay,
Verbal, we can do verbal commits, and stuff. But
perfect, perfect. So if we have a parent or a student that's watching, what's the process here? I mean, are y'all still doing on-campus tours? If they're interested, where do we go first?
They go usually kids if I haven't talked to them first, and if they're looking at coming to the school, they're on the website. They can find my contact information. There's actually a form, since we're part of athletics. I actually fill out an athletic submission form too, a
Okay.
perspective out, and it gets sent directly to me, and then so I can reach out to them. Yes, we are still doing campus tours and everything right now. They're a little different than they used to be. They're one at a time right now. We can't have like a group or anything like that, but we can schedule those for the kids, and then obviously give them the whole campus tour. They do it like a big admissions talk, and then I take them out to the facility and we go through all that stuff. So and then, doesn't take very long to tour Dillon, but we'll give them a drive around Dillon too. So,
Yeah.
um,
And how about scholarships? Do y'all have rodeo scholarships available still?
yep. Again, since we're a part of athletics, we do get funded both ways up, with that. And then with a lot of the money we raise, some of that is directed strictly to scholarships as well. And then big thing at Western is our WUI program. I mean, I know that's in all of Western colleges. With our WUI program, it's a very simple process. There's actually no application for it or anything. If a kid has a 3.0 or better and he's coming from one of the qualifying states, they get the WUI, which actually it drops tuition from $8,000 a semester down to like $3,300. It's almost a
Yeah.
$10,000 scholarship for the year right off the bat. So that helps, especially get we're so close to Idaho. We get a lot of Idaho kids, and then even we're not terribly far from Oregon and Washington, and so that really helps those kids afford college, before we can even talk about athletic scholarships. So.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that are watching that are not familiar with the WUI, that actually was a thing when I was in school. It's called the Western
Yeah.
Undergraduate Exchange. So it is certain states, if you're coming from or going to school out of state, you can actually get in-state tuition if you're from certain other Western states. So I actually did take advantage of that too. So definitely look into those. I think that's about it, man. If you have some more scholarships, again, I will add, it is kind of the season, especially probably after the 1st of January, to be starting to set up those tours, those on-campus tours. Reach out. If you don't know who to reach out to or who the rodeo coach is, you can always reach out here. You can, obviously, you can reach out to the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association, and they can kind of give you the information you need there. But now's the time to kind of pull the trigger and start contacting those schools. I highly encourage y'all to look at more than one. There's some
100%.
great programs. I know far more about college rodeo programs now than I did when I was actually picking a college program to go to. So make sure you do your research. Don't just go there because you know somebody that went there. I mean, make sure you do your research I did think of another question. The one thing that I have noticed is that lots of coaches have lots of different styles, and some are more structured than the others, and you want to make sure you find the right fit, not just the right rodeo program. So with that said, Cody, do you guys, being in the athletic program, or athletic department, do y'all have access to like the weight rooms and the athletic trainers and that kind of stuff that maybe the other sports teams would have access to?
Yes, absolutely. So especially, and that's been huge during COVID situations, because we can actually get scheduled time for the weight room because, and unfortunately that some of the other kids might not have had this year just because of we can't have as many kids up there in the weight room. And yeah, we have an athletic trainer that's actually set for our team. And they actually go to the rodeos with us. That's a huge asset to have. Kids are having just even a bum dump ankle or something, they can get it checked out here. We actually have a doctor that comes down once a week, and so a kid can come check if they're having maybe something's halfway serious, but they don't want to go to the doctor yet and pay. We can check them out here and tell them, no, maybe you better go to the doctor and actually get or no, let's, so that's again, an extra added support, I guess, is what it makes that nice, and we're very fortunate to have that here. And like I said, they go to the rodeos with us, and so, that, and then the weight room and everything like that. So yeah, we usually really get on that, especially in the off season. We're so busy during rodeo season, we kind of back off a little bit on it. But then during the off season, we really get going with that as a more of an injury prone kind of situation. So that way we don't all come back after the holidays, So
Yes, yeah. So let's quickly talk about the Big Sky region as a whole. I know that y'all moved forward and did you have 4 this fall, or did you guys complete 5 rodeos this fall?
5 rodeos. We go to 4 places. So Powell
Okay.
they put on a double rodeo right off the bat. So yep. So we have 5 rodeos, but we go to 4 places. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, we got to go through all 4. We had our normal schedule. We had everything. That was awesome. So
I know that we're fresh off the national board having their winter board meeting during the NFR. My internet is being wonky here, so make sure I don't lose you guys. So we're fresh off the national board having their winter board meeting. Is there any word on what the spring rodeo schedule is going to look like? Whoops, I think I might have lost you.
Thank you. There
you go.
I can hear you again now.
That's what I was thinking. I could tell my internet was going kind of wonky. So what I was asking is there any word what your spring schedule is going to look like? Or do they just leave it up
we
to
actually have they leave it up to other regions, which was, that's been nice because every region and everything is dealing with different situations. We're obviously a lot more spread out up here. Mm-hmm. And so, we were fortunate enough to get to go through with it. But yeah, they're leaving it up to the coaches. We actually have a conference call coming up on Wednesday. That's what Dell reached out to us, that he'll go over whatever they've talked about at that spring deal, the winter meeting. But no, we're planning on our spring schedule as of right now. So fingers crossed, though we'll keep plugging along and get going with that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I believe there are 3 regions that didn't have any fall rodeos that they're going to try to make up in the spring. So hopefully, I mean, honestly, everybody wants everybody to be able to compete, because if you're going to make it to the college finals at this level, you want to compete against the best. So when you win, you have already competed against the best to win that title. So obviously our thoughts and prayers are going out to everybody to be able to do it and do it safely. I mean, I don't think anybody wants anybody to get sick. We just want to, I don't know, not change your lifestyle too much. So
Yeah.
Cody, is there anything else you want to add about the program, about potential student athletes coming your way? I mean, kind of take the mic, man.
Yeah, I mean, Dillon's it's an amazing community here. Like, you got like I said, that added support in our school with that block program. My biggest, you hitched on it earlier, just checking out different schools, seeing what we have it all kind of depends on, what you would like to do with a degree too. Don't waste your 4 years on just going to college rodeo, come get a degree here that, we have a really big, our business department is huge. We keep adding options out of that. We have equine management options. We have a farm and ranch option. We actually have a guide and outfitter option now that's different. Our biology program is really big. So kids we've had a bunch of kids here lately. My wife and my actually college roommate are in medical school after graduating in Western. We have 2 kids that just graduated last year off the rodeo team. They're in vet school, so we can facilitate that as well with kids. And then Western was founded as a teaching school. So if you want to become a teacher, our education department, that's our biggest thing, is just kind of knowing what you'd like to do with your degree and then start there, and seeing if we can start, if we can't do what you want if you want to be an engineer or something like that, then Western might not be the spot for you, but look into that part. So
yeah, for sure.
But
yeah, I mean, I think then what we've talked about on this kind of platform as a whole is making sure that you do that research and reach out and ask the questions. I mean, I think a lot of times freshmen may not really understand what questions to ask, which is why we kind of put this together. So hopefully we can at least get the ball rolling and maybe send some people your way.
And that's always the first question I ask a kid when he called me. I said, what are you looking to study? Because like I said, if they want to do something that maybe we don't have to offer, I don't still try to steer them away or anything, but it's kind of, maybe let's start there first, and then we'll get into the rodeo thing, everything we have to offer as a rodeo side. But
right.
And yeah, like you said, you go check out a few different ones, because you might pull through Dillon and say, I can't live in Dillon, or I can't live in a big city or what, but because it's 4 years of your life, you got to enjoy where you're at. So that's for,
Yes.
We don't like
sure.
that kids just come for 1 year and then hate it and then leave. If they come here, we like them have a good experience and stick it out. We like the school to fit the kid as well. It's both got to be. We have different things to offer than say like Bozeman. Bozeman's a bigger town. That they offer different things than we offer. You got to be able to enjoy where you're at and those kinds of stuff. So
yeah, for sure. Well, Cody, thank you so much. We started early, which y'all should write that in your calendar, because that never happens. So University of Montana Western here making me start early, not even on time, early. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. If I have anybody reach out to me, I'll definitely send them your way.
I really appreciate this was awesome. Helping us keep supporting our reaching out to all our kids and schools and stuff like that. So I really appreciate what you do too. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. College Rodeo did a lot for me, and I guess now it's my time to kind of pay it back. So
we appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So thank you, Cody, and thank you guys. We did have a few live viewers, no questions, kind of a quiet crowd today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know that means we didn't get anything wrong, which I'm okay with too. If you guys are rewatching and you have questions, just post them in the comments and we'll get back around to it. If you're watching and you have a school that you are interested in and you've not seen it profiled on the broadcast, please just shoot me a message or comment on the page and let me know who you're interested in, and I'll do my best to get them on here. And I want to do a shout out to Cinch Jeans for helping us bring this content, this good information to you guys. It's really important. I think in the last year, rodeo coaches and student athletes alike have kind of had to do things a little bit differently. Virtual recruiting has looked different. Recruiting as a whole on the contestant side and the coaches side has looked a little different, and we want to try to make those connections where we can. If you are new to this platform, that probably means that you watched Jim Boy Hash and my little TV show in the morning called NFR Hangover. Listen, we're getting a lot of really positive feedback for that, so check them out. We BS a lot, and we got a lot of backstories, super fun. And there is a little letter writing campaign to the Cowboy Channel and RFD TV. There's a few people that would like to see us in Vegas next year. So info, I believe it's info@rfdtv.com. Tell them what you think. And tune in. Hey, I'm not going to take a lot of time off, but I am going to take a couple weeks off, and then we'll come back in January. We're going to either have some alumni back on, or I've made some new connections with coaches. We're going to have them come on and talk about their program. So you guys have a wonderful Christmas. Stay safe, stay warm. I feel like winter's coming, Cody. I don't know. It's coming with a vengeance because it gave us a real nice fall. So you guys have a great Christmas, and we will see you after the new year.
Thank you very much.
Yo.